And honestly, I think the topic actually first was introduced to us really more so in 2023, but it just kind of hit home in 24.
Yeah, definitely. Um, and that was a really good thing because I think a lot of times that transform a lot of people relationships,
Hmm.
especially when you consider in which way you are communicating with your spouse. The how you have to have a level of emotional intelligence to be able to communicate correctly.
Right.
I think that it could definitely bring a lot of relationships, or have brought a lot of relationships closer together. When you're mindful of those things, there's things that you just really have to be mindful of.
Right. No, so emotional intelligence, like from a man's perspective, I think it taught us like we have more of a responsibility than just to lead from the traditional perspective. Like well, not from the traditional perspective, from our perspective, like emotional intelligence, leading from an emotional standpoint is a part of our leadership. And I don't think we actually necessarily put too much thought into that because a lot of a lot of the men today, which will go into a whole nother topic, but a lot of the men today just kind of we were raised without father figures or real men examples. So we'll get a emotional woman inside our homes, and we're like, you know what, I don't want to be there because she's emotional. But it's just like, nah, man, you need to actually practice and exhibit some emotional intelligence so that you can actually lead your family.
Oh yeah,
So I mean, those topics was very much needed.
yeah, I definitely believe that. Emotional intelligence was a big one, and I think it blessed a lot of people. Now, another thing that was going around, and it came up on my timeline pretty often on TikTok and I believe on Instagram. Should a woman have a male best friend, or even vice versa? Should we have
Ooh.
best friends of the opposite sex? Especially if you are married, right? So I don't know what you think about that, babe. Put you on the spot.
Should a woman have a male best
Or
friend?
a man, vice versa.
Or I'm gonna speak from the man perspective first. So, from a man's perspective, the reason why a lot of men don't want their women to have males best friends because a lot of us we've been in that spot before when we were really close to a female, and a female was like, "That's my friend," but we had different motives. So it's kind of I would take it as a compliment if your husband is like, nah, you shouldn't have no male best friends, because first it's just like he cherished that relationship so much that he's mindful of the fact that this man may have a different agenda, other than what you may believe it is. Because a lot of us have been in the friend zone before, and we were waiting for our opportunity to shoot our shot. And
Yeah.
though the woman may feel like this not the case, a lot of times it is. I mean, because even when you follow those social media challenges, you see like there was this guy. He would like call up the female best friend, and he'll say, act like you're interested in him. And every time the man was like, "Oh, okay, I'm ready. I'll be there right now." But the woman always thought this is just my friend, but the man is thinking I'm waiting for my opportunity.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy. I don't think anybody, Mickey Minnie says no opposite sex best friends, which is true. It's in a I feel like in a sense of you know is a best friend. When you think of what a best friend is, this is somebody who you tell
Vulnerable,
vulnerable
even real vulnerable.
information,
Yeah.
and I think you have to be really careful to not um get too vulnerable with a man who is not your husband. There's gonna cross a lot of boundaries and a lot of lines. It's just like you can't be. Brianna says, whoa, those boundaries better be semen because you gotta have you gotta have discernment on the actual intentions, and if it is not good intentions, spouse's feelings need to be respected. If they gotta go, they gotta go, which is true. If your man say, look, I don't feel comfortable about that, you know, go ahead and let them go. You know, like
Deuces.
you shouldn't be when we are like you're like holding on to it. It's kind of like like why are you holding on to it so strong? You
Hmm.
know, like what is up with that? You know, you have to be really mindful, and you want to be intentional because this is your partner, that your husband. This is your life partner. He's your for better or worse. So
Hmm.
it's like you don't want somebody that could just just be like, oh no, I want my best friend. Like no, like if your partner say let them go because they can see. I feel like men, they have a they can see a little bit better. Like no, I wouldn't want that. Or they won't feel comfortable even with that because it's like just even if the person say they were a little switchy washy, like but he don't even like girls. I don't know. I'm gonna be trusting them situations. I don't
Yeah.
be trusting. I seen this show. It wasn't a show, but it was like this guy. He took a picture with one of like these famous singers, and I was like, I feel like he's pretending so he can be so close because he was like up on her, and I was like, I think you are pretending just so you can be so close to her. But I don't know. Feel like things that can happen like that. Mickey Minnie says all the women I know who have male friends have slept with those men at some point in time. That is another thing that definitely can happen. Definitely can happen.
Now
Um,
I feel like the women who be having male best friends, they be closer to their male best friends than their actual husband. Because you got to think about it, they're
because it's like
telling
a best friend.
it's their best friend,
Yeah,
right?
just
Like
like with a girl.
yeah, I'm like no, aren't I your best friend? And aren't I your male best friend? Because you're telling them every single thing,
Hmm.
including things about your husband,
Hmm.
and then this man is like. Yeah, he shouldn't do that. If I was your husband, if he ever say, if I was your husband,
Oh
I would do
well,
this. Hey, look,
that's
hey, hang
he's
that
about
up.
to mess up some things. He's about to mess up some things. And look, Amor said she said I have a close male friend, but he's on the same team as me, and it's clear. You better make sure he on the team. Let me stop.
He on the same
Nah,
team.
no, but that's I think there's a difference when you have like a close male friend. There's I think there's gonna be some instances where you might have like a close friend, but you're not like as vulnerable with them. You're not like
Hmm.
telling them all your information and stuff like that. You got to be wise in that
Hmm.
aspect. But you might have a close friend, somebody that you grew up with. You know, look like they used to change our diapers together or whatever. And they like cousins to you or something like that. There
Yeah,
might be a situation like that, but I think there's like all about the way you're vulnerable with them.
yeah. I feel like when you're in a relationship too, that friend should also be your spouse's friend too. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Like, don't ever have a male best friend that hates your husband.
Oh
You know what I'm
God.
saying? Like, come on now. Is he really your best friend if he hates your husband?
Yeah.
You know, come on now. We got to be better than that.
Yeah, because that's wild. That's wild. That's really wild. But I think that was like a really good topic. I don't want to spend too much time on that, guys. And if you're just tuning in, we are talking about viral topics that went viral regarding relationships and different things like that over this past year because this is our last show this year in 2024, and we'll be in 2025 we'll be on a new day and a new time, which is Wednesdays at 6 p.m. So I'm really excited about that. Barbara said it can be someone you have grown up with. Yeah, that's what I was just saying.
That's a
Grown
good
up with
point.
as a
Yeah.
child, so it's a respect, and
Yeah.
they're going to respect that.
Mhm.
They're happy for you. They're happy for your marriage. They are there.
Mhm.
It's not like it's a difference. We know them differences, right? Like, come on, people could be really honest with that, but that definitely is true. Someone you growing up with as a child is probably something totally different
Mhm.
versus, now if that man was secretly like been trying to sit on the sideline, you got to be careful.
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, at this point, say Nikki brings, a man in, she's like, hey, this is my friend. He's been my friend, since we've been kids. Okay, fine. But when it's time for y'all to go out on a date and catch up, I'm gonna be there too. We all we all gonna be
It's
dating.
a family
Yeah, it ain't.
affair.
Yeah, it's a family affair. It's not gonna be and it's not an insecurity thing. It's just the fact that I know how men think.
Hmm.
I know how men think, and not saying that that's going to be the case with every man, but uh, sh- as the leader of my household, I supposed to bring that security to my household.
Mhm.
So if I just look over something that seemed to be suspicious, and I just say, you know what, I just let it slide. They can go on a date or whatever, and something happens to her, because he's physically attracted and she's not. Then I would take the blame for that because I saw the possibility, but I looked over it.
Yeah, yeah. I think you do have to be wise in that
And
situation.
then, like Mickey Minnie said, most female, and this is true, but most females who have male best friends have been with them sexually.
Yeah.
Just like I mentioned earlier as well. When a guy had took this, he took this challenge to the street. He started calling these women's male best friends, and he started asking these guys right on the spot. He called them up. He said, "Call your male best friend. Talk to him right on the spot." He asked them. Uh, no, he had them say, "Hey, come over. My boyfriend's tripping. I want to sleep with you." And these men were like, "Okay, I'm ready. I'm coming over." So it shows like in the back of a man's mind, he's always waiting for an opportunity. So if I know that, why would I just like hand my wife over to this man?
Yeah, you gotta be wise. You gotta be wise. Now, another thing that was going real viral on the world of TikTok, which was really crazy. I used to send my husband, I feel like purposely, I used to send him this lady's video. Um, 'cause he
I
can
know who you're
he
talking
can
about.
stand her videos, but a lot of times she made a lot of good points and stuff like that. And she brought a lot of things to my attention that I did not knew what was going on in the world. But a lot of people was talking about the single married woman. And if you haven't heard of that term, the single married woman, that is where you are married and you basically do everything by yourself. Like you do it all for yourself. You do it all by yourself. Like the man is just
He
there.
just there.
He just there. And honestly, I was like, wow, that's crazy. But listening to these women experiences and seeing that there are so many women with the same experience, it was kind of actually really really like it was heartbreaking. I brought it to my husband's attention and stuff like that, and we talked about it and we discussed it, and it was just like, wow, that's really crazy that so many women are dealing with this. What is the disconnect with these men? Like, what's the disconnect with the men, you think?
That's why I say I love these topics because some of these things came up, and it's some stuff that we'll never think about because every problem is not going to exist in all of our relationships.
Yeah.
I never thought there would be a such thing as what is married and single,
Single married
single married
moms.
moms,
Yeah.
but I think the situation, and we kind of talked about it too when we went through our development series.
Hmm.
I think the issue with that is that a lot of men are raised by single mothers.
Yeah.
So then when they get married, they're looking for a woman that's going to be just like their mother. So their mother did everything for them. All they did, was play the video game, and go hang with their friends, and then
Yeah.
they become grown adults and they get married and they do the same thing.
Yeah. And I think a lot of times a lot of people don't see that, they feel like, oh, well, my mother did all these things or, whatever. And it's like, but they had to do all these things. They had to work. They had to take care of the kids. They had to do that because they were most likely they were single and there was no man in their lives, right? So they had to do all those things. So it's not a thing of should my wife have to come in and now
Hmm.
carry the ball because one of my biggest things I have learned over this whole year um, is just that hey, there's a balance with motherhood. You can be the absolute greatest mother and do all for your kids, right? But you have to have a balance where you pour back into yourself,
Hmm.
where you step away because if you don't, you're going to become overwhelmed,
Hmm.
you're going to become overworked, and it's just like you gotta be there, right? You have to show up for yourself first. So that's been my biggest thing is telling moms that show up for yourself first. If you show up for yourself first, it's gonna basically throw everything else in line. You're gonna be a better mom, you're gonna be a better wife because you're gonna be refreshed. And if you're not refreshed, if you can't take care of yourself, then guess what? everything gonna fall apart. Kids gonna be going crazy. You gonna be going crazy. Your husband gonna be going crazy. Everybody going crazy because you ain't together. And the mothers are the glue. And if you ain't together, then hey, ain't nothing gonna happen. But I do believe men have to, really take that initiative and help out. You gotta help out.
Right.
So
Right. A lot of times too is that, and I do want to make sure that I'm clear when I say this because I believe in times past I wasn't clear enough when I say this. Sometimes when men see women handling everything, they look at it as it's a compliment of their competence.
yeah,
But that's not always the case. Sometimes the case is that he was raised by a single mother and he's never had an example of a man, a real man in a household and what a man is to do. So
yeah,
he's used to watching the woman do everything. Um, there are times. So when I say it's a compliment of competence, I'm not saying that good men never offer help. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that our natural mind is just like, oh, she got this.
yeah.
When we see her doing everything so well. But my wife has said a countless amount of times that that's one of my strengths. Just looking at her and saying, you know what, she needs help. But at times I do have to remind her when I'm not saying, okay, she needs help. I'm thinking she got this. So I just wanted to bring clarity with that. But something else you said earlier, it reminded me. Oh, my seat just went down. All right.
Awkward.
Oh yeah. So another point was the 70-30 rule. That was another viral topic.
Oh,
Um,
wait, before you get into that,
okay, go ahead.
I want to go into the comment sections because there were a lot of good comments that were just popping up while you were talking. So we're gonna get to that. But Amore said that's crazy because some men say they never want their woman to go through what their mom went through, and that's true. Some men say that, and you have to be very, like some men they do say like I never want my wife to struggle, right? Like the way my mom had to, and
Right.
some men they hold firm to that. But then there's some men who just I think they're just really disconnected from everything that's just really going on. So Brianna says the single married woman happens when two people who were not ready to be married get married. Your thought process must change from singular to team mindset. That's so true. When there's no update of the mindset, the man continues to move and thinking of himself, and the woman moves in her masculinity, trying to take care of everything in singularity. That is so true. I like that. I like the way that she broke that down because it's like you have to. It's a team thing. It's a team thing. Like I always say like, hey, it's like we work together so well. Like you see when I'm like overwhelmed. And this has come with time. It has come over time, like you see, and it's also come with over time with me moving in masculinity, trying to do everything on my own, and all, trying to say that, hey, let me be a little more feminine, let me ask for help, let me say, hey, I need some help, right? And I think that helps us, we just start to flow back better in our roles too, especially when I start to speak up and accept help too, because sometimes your man to come in there and he'd be like, hey, you need some help? No, I got it. Because you're like already frustrated, so you're still going to sit up there in frustration and try to do it on yourself. And look, that's me. I do that.
Yeah, that's her.
So, but yes, I definitely, I believe I gotten a whole lot better at it now. Just yelling and allowing your help
Yeah.
when it comes up, but definitely you have to know how to move that. Mickey Minnie said some of the guys were already sorry already. Wait, some of those guys were already sorry already. Women just believe that they can change them.
Hey, that's facts though.
That's
facts.
another topic. That is like
Yeah.
another topic that was going around too about thinking that you can change somebody, like, or you see how they are, but you still go through with the relationship, with the marriage, because you think that you can change them.
Right.
And that is a big no. Never think that you can change anyone. You have to accept people for face value, for what they give you. Can a person grow? Sure, they can grow, but they have to do it on their own, right? You can't change anybody. That's like the biggest upset, that expectation.
Yeah, the expectation. Yeah, I was ready to say that. So that's
Expectation.
why a lot of marriages don't last because that we have these unrealistic expectations
Yes.
when it's just like, nah, I didn't know I was signing up to be, this Superman. I'm Clark Kent. But you had plans on me being Superman. I didn't know this. We didn't talk about this. You just expected that. You saw me. You saw my potential. When you saw me, I thought you saw me, but you saw my potential.
Yeah, don't marry for potential. Look, that is dangerous. That is very dangerous. That is a very dangerous thing because that person can have all the potential in the world. But potential means nothing if you don't have the mindset to, and the ability through your mind saying, hey, I can do it, to do it. Because if you could see a person that's a great person, like this person could be amazing. But if they never realize it themselves, it
Facts.
doesn't matter what you say. So don't marry for potential. Marry for what they give you right there. What they're showing you. If they're showing you this, then that's what it is. Like don't
You
do
know
too
what we were
much.
taught? We were taught in premarital counseling. We were taught, if will you be able to marry this person today, knowing that nothing about them will change, and could you see yourself being with them for the rest of your life if they were to never change? And if the answer is no, don't do it. If the answer is yes, then go ahead.
Go
Get
for
married
it.
today.
Yeah, that's so true. Now you want to get into the 70/30s. Go ahead and say.
Yes, the 70-30 rule. Now, I think the 70-30 rule is pretty cool because in 2019, I mention this a lot. Man, America experienced a really extreme increase in divorces. I mean, the divorce rate is already high, but in 2019, it was like alarming. But we all know why that was. It was because people were forced to be around each other 24/7. Now, you have married people who have always had their jobs to go to, their friends to hang out with. They were allowed to have that space. But now you're forced to be in a room with somebody 24/7 that you really never completely got to know. Now, so 70-30 rule is good because, I mean, some people are married and they
Did you
got the.
explain that 70
I'm
30?
about to explain it because
Oh,
I
because
didn't. Some people are married and they do 30-70. So the idea is 70-30. 70 is you spend 70% of your time with your spouse, and then you spend 30% of your time doing something else recreational. So it may be you hanging out with your friends, it may be you doing a hobby that you really love. Now, in most marriages, it's opposite. It's like 30-70. You spend 30% of your time with your spouse, and 70% of your time doing something else. So if you're forced to like be in what isolation, because of COVID or something, you're gonna be looking at this person like, who are you? You know your friends better than this person. So that 70-30 rule was something that I never thought about, never considered. But it is something that's actually needed. Well, I can't say we never considered it. We never talked about it in the sense of 70-30, but we did see the importance of having some, quality time alone.
yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. Because I think you have to have that time. You can't go ahead and then spend so much time where you become codependent on a person, right?
Yeah,
Because codependency is dangerous. Dangerous. Now, what you want to be interdependent upon your spouse, but you do not want to be codependent upon them, where it's like you don't know which way to turn if they ain't there. That's a big problem. You want to be interdependent upon them, and you have to have those hobbies. I think having hobbies and different things, and this is one thing I discovered this year: having hobbies away from your kids, away from the kids, away from the kids. Away from the kids and away from your husband, it helps build you. Now you have more conversation. You have just that time just to breathe, to reflect. And when you have those things, I feel like it brings you closer. Because I know when I go away, I step away, I like to go out to eat. I love to go out to eat. I love to get dressed. I love to go out to eat. And me and my friend, we'll go out to eat. And we have a really good time, and we sit and we talk, and it's just like it feels so good, just to sit and talk to another female, right? Somebody who gets you on your level and stuff like that. right? And you just sit there, you talk to them, and then you go back home. You're so happy, and like I like to go and I'm like, "Do you like my outfit?" and stuff like that in front of him, and he's like, "Yeah, you look good," and stuff, and I like doing that stuff like that. But what's y'all thoughts on the 70-30 rule?
70-30.
70% of your time together, 30% away, and I think it's good. I definitely, what, in this year, you're going to get some of your 30%.
Yeah,
You're getting
yeah.
some, because we've been with the recent change that happened. He's been home a whole lot more, and but you need some 30% like with hobbies and stuff like that.
Hmm.
We did the first time we did start off with some things, but we didn't wasn't able to keep it up. But we're a little bit closer into the city now, so
Yeah. So another aspect of the 70-30 rule. I remember I was told this before. We were married. It's funny because I turned it into a joke. Someone told me, say, absence makes the heart grow fonder, and I was like, screw that. Absence make the heart go finder. And it was just like, it was so funny because I was like, my mind was like, nah, I want my woman now and I want it now. But I get it. That's true. Like, if we have the 70-30 rule, then my moments away from her and her moments away from me is going to make her want to come back to me quicker. And it's the same, vice versa. And it's my moments away from her is going to help me appreciate her more when I see her. But
yeah.
if we're always around, then it's kind of like that familiarity kicks in. It's like, oh, that's his wife. But when she's away, it's just like you start seeing like you don't hear her voice around. You don't hear her. I
Start
think
missing them.
yeah, you don't hear her walking through the house and everything. You're like, man, I need her back. So you're waiting for her to come back. When you see her come back, you can greet her. With open arms. Just love and kisses.
Yeah. I think that also makes it really fun. I think it makes it a really fun, a really good time. You got something to talk about other than your kids. You
Right.
talk about. 'Cause
Yeah,
it
get
kinda
out. Go
crazy.
find something to talk about.
Yes. The next thing I want to get into
How
is
was your gym time?
y'all know y'all been seeing it going around over and over and over again. It's the pop the balloon challenge. The pop the balloon challenge is very interesting. How many of you guys watch the pop the balloon challenge? Because y'all, I got like some thoughts on that. It's hilarious. It's just like, for one, I just find it the ways that they pop, the reasons these people pop the balloon.
I don't like your shoes.
It's like, really, are we?
Yeah.
And these were like some really good people. Like, there was this one girl, and I felt really bad because she was African. She had this really strong accent. Like, she had like a really strong voice. She had a very she said pop the balloon is so diabolical. It really is. She had a very strong voice, a very deep voice. Her voice was very deep, very strong. But she was a woman. Now, I could understand sometimes it kind of, but I feel like eventually her voice will grow on you. She was a very beautiful woman, very beautiful, very minimum effort, with her makeup and different things like that. Marquise Dennis says he loved it. But she she came in and she was talking, and the men, they all just popped the balloon soon she started talking. And I was like, wait, what is going on? At first, I didn't even catch her voice, And then they were like, oh, it's the voice. I can't get with the voice. Because, if y'all seen that episode, it was, I felt so bad for her because she was a beautiful woman, but they couldn't get with the voice. But I feel like eventually you would definitely get used to her voice because she kind of sounded like a man. She had a real deep voice. She had a deep voice. But I'm used to women with deep voices. I feel like I know a lot of women with deep voices. Like, like, I feel like a lot of black women have a lot of deep voices. Like, we have deeper voices. He said he thought it was a man. When I looked at her, I looked at her good. I said, this is a woman. And I feel like if she wasn't going to be like, she was going to say she was sure. She had to.
Yeah, I
honest with
understand the situation. I feel bad for her because right now it is a hard time for her to date.
Yeah.
Because it's just like I thank God all the time. Like, I'm happy I'm married.
Yes.
I'm happy I found my woman now because it's just like everything is like suspect now.
It's
It's like, man, is that
out there,
because
the
the
water.
surgery is getting better and better.
Yeah.
So it's just like, man,
It's it's getting scary because I
I
was
get
like,
it.
I be seeing some people, and I was watching a video one time, right? And it was like a glow up video, right? And everybody was like saying that the man, he was like, oh, happy
Oh,
trans awareness. Yeah,
I
that's
saw
so.
it,
And the
yeah.
man was like, I'm not trans. He was literally was before puberty, and now he was a man. Now it was like, it was crazy because I showed my husband, right?
Yeah.
I was like, babe, look at this. And it was a really crazy glow up. But
He was in the comment section
he
like,
was like, I am not.
I've been a man from day one.
I'm not, like, he's like,
This is not one of those transition videos. I'm a man.
yeah, but Pop the Balloon is really crazy.
Yeah.
Going back to that, because it's really crazy. Because like, going to like, they be just standing there and they're like, like I could feel you on the way somebody dressed. You're probably not that into them, right?
Hmm.
But it'd be like a real good man because they had a really good man. He was really nice looking. Really, remember the guy, dark skinned guy?
I
He had the
remember,
little
yeah.
fade and stuff. And I was like, this is a good looking man. He looks like a good guy.
Hmm.
Like I could tell he's like, he treats that woman right. And they were like, I just can't get with the shoes.
Yeah.
I don't like the way that you dress. I was like, are you serious?
Yeah,
Like,
I
it's
mean,
crazy,
truth be
y'all.
told, he didn't need them anyway. If they don't like the way he dressed, then he didn't need them anyway.
They was
But
looking for a soldier
I
like
think
Beyonce.
pop the balloon challenge is like so big because most people live in the metaverse. We don't know how to socialize anymore. So pop the balloon makes it so convenient. It's like here's the person in front of you. Just look at them. I mean, it's like shopping now. Shopping online, like the product stands in front of you. You look at it, you like, I like it. No, you swipe left, swipe right. You could just pop. You don't even have to talk much.
Yeah.
Pop the balloon, and then they ask you why you pass. Hey, I passed because I ain't like the hair.
Oh, look at
I
that.
ain't like the shoes.
We got a caller coming in. Let me go ahead and take that. Hold on. Hey, caller. KLB, please hold.
Oh, you can put them on.
And caller, you're on the air. Hold on 1 second. Hold on 1 second. Let me mute this. All right, you're on the air, caller.
Phone.
It helps people to objectify each other again, but we're not focusing on substance. We're just focusing on what they look like, what they have to offer, and it exacerbates this idea that I can only date people that have something to offer for me, physically or mental, or physically or financially, but not on the stimulation side or relationship side.
Mm,
Right.
that's true. Because I think a lot of times people, they just miss the goodness of the person, like you said. Like they really miss that, and they only look at, and that's crazy. And going back to something you said, Richard, about just the metaverse. People really they're living there, like for just like Instagram, social media. They're really living for the face value of things versus what inwardly they can get. They desire the inwardly, but it's like they get stuck on the face value. I really like his perspective.
Right. Right. I think the whole idea of the pop the balloon challenges is it could be useful, but I think it would be best to have a relationship coach that's doing it and not
Mm,
somebody who's just like
a host.
holding the mic. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
just a host. It's a big difference. If you're a relationship coach, just kind of like that show you just introduced me to, the later daters.
Oh my God, have y'all watched that?
That's
It is
kind of
so
dope.
good.
If you didn't look at it, look, I don't normally like advocate for stuff like that, but I mean it was actually good.
Yeah.
It was actually really good. The coach didn't just like let the person say, you know what, now I don't like, kind of like the caller was just saying, the coach don't let them get away with just, looking at the surface level. They're going to challenge you.
Yeah, definitely.
But that would take accountability, and like I said, that doesn't go well in this day and age. They're trying really hard to make people objectify one another,
Hmm.
and it makes for an easier, controllable situation. I mean, if you think about where we are right now, it used to be when we were small, you could find a TV repair shop anywhere. And they don't exist anymore outside of one or two places because the idea is just get something new. And so
Right.
that's how people look at marriage. That's how people look at
Mm.
relationships is, just get a new one.
Mm.
I don't like this. I don't know. Let's get a new one. But for those of us that have been married, this is Marquise, by the way.
I knew it was
um,
you.
but those of us that have been married, you know that you can only love your wife to the level of deepness that you get. It's through the obstacles as you build the love. And right now, people look at each other and relationships like the moment I have a challenge, I'm out.
Right.
When that's really the opportunity to find out, are you even in a relationship? I used to DJ weddings and I would have these consultations and I'd be like, what made you guys want to get married? And they would always say, oh man, we've been together for this long and we haven't even fought yet. And I say, you don't even know if this person is going to hit you when they fight. You don't
Mm.
know if this person is going to throw hot oil on you
Mm.
if they fight. You won't find that stuff out if you don't figure that out. You don't know if this person is going to go cheat on you just because you've hurt their feelings. So if you don't fight, you won't know what type of person you're dealing with
Mm.
fully. So that's my thought process.
Thank you so much for your
Marquise.
call because I enjoyed that process because that process. I enjoyed that perspective. Um, that is true because you got to have that. I think friction makes everything better. It makes everything holds tighter. You know.
Yeah, it's funny too because I love that analogy that he gave. Years ago we used to see like so many TV repair shops, but now the reason why we don't see too many TV repair shops is because you're always told that it's actually cheaper to get a whole new TV than
Mm-hmm.
to pay to get it fixed. Now the thing is, that's true, yes, and it's not. If you fix that TV yourself,
Yeah.
it's cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
And the fixing itself is not as much work as people think it is. And my wife knows, she knows I don't fix TVs, but I've learned how to fix TVs because I've loved the challenge. But if we're gonna avoid the challenge in our relationships, you got to look at the opposite end of the coin. What's going to be the reaction to that? For instance, you have the woman who says that she don't want to help build a man, and then but she wants to come into a relationship with a man who's already have arrived. Now look at the difference. When that man has already arrived, that man that man sees you as dispensable.
Mm.
But when you have helped build a man, now I'm not encouraging, I'm not endorsing that. But what I'm saying is like if you're helping him build a legacy, when it comes down to value, you have value within that relationship now. He's not looking at you like, what is it that you can bring to the table? You showed him what you brought to the table. You were there with him. And just like Chad and Karen Carey, I mean, that was beautiful. Turn me up a little. That was beautiful having Chad and Karen Carey on the show, just talking about their journey. We. I mean, they told the story so beautifully. I felt like I was there with them. I mean, we was in a car. Like, man, I was in a car with them. Like, man, this is hard. But they didn't hide anything in their story, and I'm happy they didn't because if you know them now and you see the success that they've accomplished now,
Oh yeah.
man, nobody can tell me that somebody could just come up in there and break up their marriage. They've been through it all.
Yeah.
They worked on that TV themselves. You better believe they're not about to just give that TV up when it breaks. They're gonna fix it again.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah, because that's what you do. That's how you build um, better. Because with any relationship, there's going to be friction. There's going to be things you need to. If you're looking for, just smooth sailing, it's not. It no no. You're looking for like even if in a friendship, there's going to be arguments, disagreements, whatever you want to call it. It's going to happen in the friendship.
That's
So
what makes it worth it.
it's going to happen in the friendship. It's going to happen in the marriage. It's going to happen. It's it happens in business relationships. So it's going to happen amongst someone that you love and somebody that you care about. It's not going to be sunshine, flowers, and rainbows. If it was like that, if it's supposed to be like that, then I guess we missing out. But yeah, no, but it's definitely not like that. Let's go to the next topic.
I wanna pick this
Go
one
ahead,
because
go ahead. Oh, he's
this
about to
is
pick
the
it.
most popular one because it's the most relevant now. This one started in about November, and we are in December, so this is fresh and it boomed really quick. But this one is the we listen and we don't judge. I have some views on that one. I love that one. I love the challenge. Looking at it from a functional perspective, I love it. But at the same time, like, my wife was just like telling me the other day, she was like, this we listen and don't judge uh challenge is what's wrong with us. And I was like, huh? It's like I love the we listen and don't judge challenge. But so now people are just like using it as at first it started with relationship, but now people are using it to just like say random things like we listen and we don't judge friends edition. Yeah, I took your girlfriend when you was um 21 and you went
Yeah,
on a
it's like a
cruise
weird.
trip or whatever.
It's
I
like a
took your
weird
girlfriend.
confessional. It's like
Yeah.
it's so crazy. It's like why? No, no, do not. I'm like get a like I said this last time. I said this on social media. I said that we need to go back to diaries because people putting stuff on social media that is gonna be there forever. There's some people that have been confessing some things with this little we listen
I
to
didn't
judge
even want to
thing.
say some of it. That's why I just
Yeah,
made up.
I can't even say anything. I'm not like I told my husband, but I'm like I'm not saying on air. There are some people confessing some things, and I'm like, whoa, whoa, hold up.
Yeah, you should have
You
took
sh-
that to your
you
priest.
should have you should have wrote that down in your diary, but you should not put that on the social media. You can burn the diary
No,
and
yeah,
then be
yeah, burn
gone.
it, burn it.
But it's like on social media, it is there forever. And it's like your kids probably gonna one day run across this. And it's like, y'all, like some of the stuff they confessing, I'm like, and you felt comfortable.
So
And that's why I told him that's what's wrong with us now because it brought about a conversation that all these people listening and not no we need
no,
to
we
get
need to
back
say
to
something about
say
that.
something
Yeah,
because
we
it's
gotta.
like
Yeah,
you don't have like especially like a lot of things from like the women like you don't have enough shame about yourself where you don't want to be seen as that type of person or even the men like come on y'all we gotta do better like seriously like it's sad like no we need to bring it back bring back that because when we had that we were such stronger people and it's sad because it's like nobody can tell me what to do now and it's like no I need to help you out all out of love but because like we can't be walking around here ratchet I'm sorry we just can't.
yeah. So the we listen and don't judge. It does have a positive spin. From just when it first came out, it was just relationship. It was husband and wife just saying we listen and we don't judge.
Yeah,
But what it does is it creates a space for you to truly learn to listen and
yeah,
communicate. Because this
yeah,
is how you properly communicate. Like you're challenged to listen to your spouse without responding.
yeah.
So if you can't respond, I mean you have to listen the whole time. And the don't judge aspect is like basically saying you can't get mad. So it opened up opportunities to discuss things that you didn't necessarily feel safe to talk about within your relationship. So in that sense, I would still challenge people to do it, not behind the camera though. That's the only thing. Do it in between you and your spouse.
Hey caller you're on the air.
It's me again. Sorry, y'all brought up this great topic, so I was excited. But the listen and don't judge is hilarious to me, and I honestly, personally think that they started it as a joke. That somebody just went on there and started saying some ridiculous things to just see how far it was going to go.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I believe it.
Yeah.
Because when we're talking about, I mean, me and my wife watched one the other day, guy was talking about that he bought an apartment and said that he's got a remote job and that he's been lying to her for 2 years to say that he's going to work, but he's really going to his other apartment just
Oh,
to get away from him and the wife and the kids.
oh,
Wow.
And I
oh.
was thinking to myself, like, who does that?
Damn.
Oh my
But at
gosh.
the other side of this, like if we look at the real damage that we're talking about, which is I think what you're alluding to was like how personal we're getting out there in the world. This is the first generation of kids where somebody can pull up a phone and say, "Hey, isn't this your mom on OnlyFans?"
Oh my god.
Oh, yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
You know what I mean? But it's also the first where the kids can sit in class and say to their teacher, "Hey, isn't this you?"
yeah,
Mm,
yeah.
yep.
And so when you're talking about people thinking of long term, forever thoughts, like that's not a thought. They're focused on right now. How am I making money? What is going to please me?
Hmm.
And it does. They don't really care about who it affects. This is why family and community is so important. Because if you don't have any idea how these things affect you over time, then how would you? Why would you care?
Yeah.
Right.
That's true. That's real
All right,
true.
let me get off.
Nah, we appreciate you
Thank
calling in
you.
again too. We
Thank
appreciate your
you so
time.
much.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, we have another caller.
Oh, sorry about that.
Yeah, that is true. I didn't
There we go.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't think about it, but
If you were trying to call in, you can call back in.
when reflecting back, it did start off as a joke because like all of the stuff that they're saying, they have been saying it was kind of like ridiculous. You know, though I saw a video where a guy was like, I sit in the car, you know, kind of like what he said, but it wasn't as extreme. He said, he sit in the car, and reflect before he goes in.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. I feel like that kind of stuff shouldn't be swept under the rug. After
Yeah.
you listen and don't judge, now you discuss how can we work on this from this point.
Yeah.
But again,
I listen. We listen. We don't judge. And I sometimes grab food, or I used to. I don't do it anymore because I said that's how I was gonna stop eating those fries. But I used to grab food and some fries. Because I leave the evidence all in.
I never said. Look, I never said I didn't know. I'm like you
I just
telling
do
me.
it
I know
before the
you do
kids come.
it.
Hold on one second. We got a call coming in. Never mind. They hung up so quick.
Let
Y'all
me
call
see if
back
I
in.
have
Y'all hung
one.
up so quick. I don't know. Maybe it rung so like on your line long, but it only rung like 2 times.
Oh, okay. So someone is asking what's the new number. It's not a
Okay.
new number. I think you were probably calling while we just had another call on air.
Yeah, but the
Marquis
number
Center.
is
So it's
918-856-3873. So 918-856-37. I'm sorry, 3873.
yeah, we heard you trying to get in,
Yes.
but
And it should be flashing on the screen too.
it was an
I'll go ahead and
interference.
918-856.
So for the listeners in the chat, I'm gonna throw a question out there. This was another viral relationship question. It is, would you prefer long-term lust or short-term love? Think hard and long on that.
Hard and long. And I think there's no right or wrong answer.
Yeah, there's no right or
Hold
wrong
on.
answer. I'm happy you said that. There's no right or wrong answer.
Thank you for calling. Hold on one moment. All right, caller, you're on the air.
Hey, I just wanted to say, y'all delivered as usual. Great job.
Oh, thank you.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome. Y'all have a good one.
You too.
Hey, thank you for calling. You're on the air.
Richard Roots, Nicky Talk.
Hey.
Jay the truck driver.
Hey, what's up, club?
What's going on? How you feeling?
I'm great, man. I was on the first show. I can't miss the last one of the year.
Oh yeah, man. I'm happy you made it.
Yeah, I was. I missed the last couple times. I couldn't. My reception was bad on my internet, or something, and then other time I was busy. But today, yeah, I was on the phone. I'm like, man, I got to go. I got to my friend's podcast. Yeah,
did you hear that? We're his friends. Yeah, we're gonna have to have you
But
on the show
yeah,
one day.
oh, definitely. I was listening to y'all show. I guess it's a rundown. I'll be quick. Best friend opposite. No, unless she's ugly and looking like Chewbacca and has no appeal to herself. That's the only time you can touch that man around that girl.
Hey, bro, I should have known you would have said it because that was my thoughts. But I was like, you know, I'm gonna leave that. But Jay the truck driver is not gonna hold back.
No, and single but married. You might as well be single because I see a lot of married people that's single on Facebook and social media. Like, where's your man at? Like, you trying to act like you don't got nobody. You might as well be single. Like, how you gonna be married and in real life but single on the internet? You know,
Oh,
kind of
Mm.
look like you're leaving the door open for somebody. You know?
yeah, yeah. That
Yeah,
was
that's
another topic I wanted to bring
yeah,
up
that's
because
that's a nice
there's a
topic.
guy that I can't stand on Facebook. I mean, what is he on Instagram? I can't stand him. You know
I
what I'm
don't
talking
know.
about? Yeah, Truth Hurts or something
And
like
you
that.
don't see
Oh
his
yeah.
spouse nowhere around on this page. Man. Like,
Yeah, but
Yeah,
no,
man, we actually gonna
it
get into that topic too in the new year.
yeah. So yeah,
exactly. The 70/30. I agree because like you don't need to be around your spouse all the time. I mean, you around them all the time with communication. Like we can talk on Bluetooth, we can talk in words. You know, hey baby, I'm going there. Talk to them on the way. You know, through the speaker on your car. But you need time for yourself. You know, just to create and elevate and come back to your spouse to collaborate. You know,
yeah,
uh,
Right.
get up with your boys. Like sometimes when I'm with my boys, it makes me appreciate my girl better when I see this dysfunctional company,
Facts.
couple arguing. I see these single people over here like, man, I'm glad I got a girl to go back home to. You know?
Facts. And at some point in time, you're like, man, I'm tired of looking at men with my woman.
Yeah. It's like, man, I'm glad that ain't me. Like, this dude looking over there lonely, going back home to himself.
Yeah.
And
Hey.
then it builds trust because when your girl, like, you say, hey, I'm about to go here, your girl be like, okay. It's like, man, yeah, like, my girl trust me. I hate a man that he can't go nowhere. His girl just so got him on lock. I'm like, man, like,
You locked
what's
up
going on?
again?
Like, you ain't got no trust here or something, you know what I'm saying? But when that woman lets you just go ahead and do your thing, hang out, it builds trust. Like, you know what? I thought I was gonna do something, but since my girl ain't tripping, I'm going back home to it. Huh?
Hey, at that point, you gotta call his wife and be like, "Hey, can Richard come out today? Can
Yeah.
he come out and play with
Because
us?"
if you keep them on lock, it's like the dog in heat. Once you get out, you gonna be on everything smoking, you know. Because I don't
Yeah,
get out that much.
dang,
yeah,
that's crazy.
But yeah, that's all I gotta say. That pop the balloon, that's just entertainment. I don't really dig into that, you know.
Yeah,
yeah, man.
yeah.
But
But
we,
I heard y'all new time slot and Wednesday the 6th. That's cool, man. You feed your conscience and your mind before you go to church, and feed your spirit. Feed your conscience and before you go eat dinner. You know, you just kind of like the meal before the meal. You know, that's a
yeah,
good time slot right
come on, come
Yeah,
on. We may say
awesome.
there.
that in one of our infomercials. Yeah,
The
man.
appetizer. Y'all gonna
Yeah, that would be funny.
it's right between when you go into the grocery store, before you go to church, or before you start cooking dinner. It's right there in
Hmm.
that slot, right there in the middle.
Yeah, before you start cooking that dinner, look. In fact, put it in a crock pot. And just come sit down with us. Come join the club.
Right.
Don't put it in the crock, but that's too late.
Feed your brain before you
I
feed
know,
your
right?
mouth.
Feed your brain first. Yeah.
Yes.
So y'all not in that kitchen fighting. Come, come talk about it. Come vent. Look, call us on the radio. But
Yeah.
we definitely appreciate you, Jay the truck driver, man. You've been solid from day one. Like I said, man, we definitely got to get you on, and we appreciate everybody too. We appreciate
We
everybody who called
definitely
in,
do.
and man, you called a few times too, man, because you kept bumping lines with two of our callers. So man, we definitely appreciate your patience.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And if you on that road, if you don't mind giving us that toot before
I
you
got you,
go.
brother. Last one for the year.
Last one for the year. All right, man. You be blessed. Be safe.
All right. One love.
One love. All
Sorry,
right.
that's me. Look, I'm trying to get used to hanging up the phone and
Yeah.
calling, hanging it
I
up.
wonder if the new
But
way
yeah,
that you have been doing it has been like fighting the feedback on that end.
I
Cause
don't know.
it sound real clear how you did it.
Well,
But
that'd be good. I don't know what I'm doing differently, but yeah, y'all, we're gonna get next year. Such a long time from now, but when we used to do that as kids, like see you next year. That's
goodbye
we used to
for
we used to
now
do that, and it'd be like literally like the next year or something like that.
until
But
we meet
so
again.
lame. But next year we're gonna get into the topic of, because there's a guy on Instagram that says that you can block your spouse from your social media, and he bothers me so much with his content. But yeah, and he's a married guy and everything. It's just yeah, it's real crazy. But yeah, we're gonna get into that next because
Yeah,
we didn't get to talk
we're
about
gonna
it
talk
today.
about it because
Yes.
I want to know, should I block my wife from my social media?
Look, if he blocked me, I already know the socials and stuff, so I'm gonna get in. But nah, no, but yeah, definitely we're gonna get into that because I think that's definitely something that definitely needs to be talked about. Because I like reading the comments section. There was like a lot of people that was like, "Dude, you're wild," but there was also people that agreed. But it's just like I definitely want to talk about that because I want to see what y'all thoughts and stuff like that. But just ending the show, Rihanna regarding the lust and love thing. She said, short term love, lust is empty. I need to be full, even if it's a short period of time, which is so true.
Come on.
That is so true because like you can, yeah, they got a lot of people in some long term lust, and they baby mamas and
We gonna have to bring that
a
question
lot
back
of
too,
drama.
cause
Yeah, we're gonna have to bring that back definitely. We're
but
gonna have
that's a beautiful response
to add
too.
that to our yeah, because long short term love is like it's just like having that person. Just kind of like when I was watching Later Daters, I was like that girl. She just want to date a bunch of people because like she's a widow and her husband had passed. Her name is Suzanne and she's a woman. She's like in her 60s and she's like she's in her 60s and right now she's just like I feel like she just want to date. She had her love and I was like I feel like she just want to date. She's enjoying this life. But y'all, thank y'all for tuning in. We're gonna be ending now. We're a little 6 minutes over, but thank y'all so much for tuning in. We'll see you guys next year, January 1st.
January
January
1st.
1st, we'll be back. January
Be
1st.
there 6
Yes,
p.m.
6 p.m. That's a Wednesday. Put it in your calendar. We're gonna be making some videos, like on our Instagram and Facebook and stuff like that, just to remind people and stuff like that. So, y'all, I can't wait to see you guys. We'll see you guys next year, the first day of the year at 6 p.m. All right, guys. Until next time. Bye.
Toodles.